I I found the perfect spot here in Sedona that actually my internet does not go out. So I'm so happy to be here. My name is Marisa Maggio-Harelson. I've been with LifeVantage for 14 years. I live in Phoenix, but right now I'm in Sedona, Arizona. And I am just so happy that each and every one of you took time out on your Sunday to be here for this very important call. Carrie, I wanted you to be able to say some things as well before we introduce Jill and Gabe. But they are like, if you haven't heard them speak before, oh my gosh, have a piece of paper and pencil out because I got some of the best invites in a lobby of a hotel probably 10 years ago during
Wow.
a hurricane. And I will
Orlando.
mute, if everybody can mute themselves too, that would be great, except for Gabe and Jill and Carrie. But literally, I'll never forget. We were supposed to go into our hotel rooms and hunker down, and all of a sudden, Gabe's in the lobby, and all of a sudden, one person's around him, and three people around him, and all of a sudden, I think there was like 200 people around him, and he's just speaking with no microphone about this business, and he gave me such vision, and I was pretty new in LifeVantage, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I started writing down these invites that he had, and they've stayed with me for these years, and truly, I can only promise you how beautiful this training is going to be and just the inspiration that you're going to be gaining. Carrie, Carrie and I were talking and we just thought for the activation tour, who would we love to see here? And we both came up with the same people. So Phoenix is blessed to have the activation tour. And Carrie, I'll let you take over now to talk a little bit about Brett and what he's going to be doing, and Gabe and Jill, and then you just pitch to Gabe and Jill, please.
Okay, perfect. Oh my gosh, welcome everybody. Okay, so like Marisa was saying, we've got our Activate in Phoenix, and we're like, who do we want? Our number one choice, Jill and Gabe. Woohoo! And we got them both, the power couple with they're just incredible together. And I think there's no better people for all of you to hear from on the vision and how to invite and how to literally get butts and seats and all that. So that's why we're on this today. So at first it started with Phoenix, but then Dr. Brett Brimhall is going to Sioux Falls, and I know Dawn has been organizing that event like crazy. So we were all talking, and they were looking at doing the same kind of Zoom. So I'm like, let's combine forces, and then we're like, well, let's open up to our whole team because this subject is so critical to our business. Because events, promoting event to event, but getting people there, right? If you go to every event and you never have a guest there, your business isn't going to work. So, okay, I want to turn it over to the Pearson. So, thank you, presidential leaders from Florida. We love them. Oh, really quick, I got to say this. So, why so I think I was, well, it used to be called Pro 5, so like an MC2 way back in the day. Gabe came and taught like a premier school, which is like a LifeVantage Academy, a 4-hour training. And Maria and I sat there. We didn't know Gabe. That was like our first time seeing Gabe. And we were like, OMG. Like we were just mesmerized and like the way you paint vision and all that. So we've always just had this really special relationship, and we're like Gabe's girls. And then we met Jill, and of course we fell in love with Jill. And Jill is so phenomenal too. So to get to hear from both of them. So okay, just want to send it over to you guys. Thank you both so much for taking this time from the bottom of our hearts. For our whole team, we really appreciate it.
Well, you have to understand, we have more gratitude than you, okay, for doing this. And it just warms our heart to be able to hear what you're saying. I mean, we don't view ourselves in that kind of light. And to hear good things coming from someone like you and some from Dr. Brinhall and the pose is total humbling experience. So you put a lot of pressure on us. We're like,
No
no.
pressure, and you are more than up for the job.
But
No
I tell you,
pressure, all the love in the
I'm
world.
so thankful that you brought up that premier school because that was the determining factor, at least for me. I can't speak for Jill, for me coming out to Phoenix. And it's not because of Maria, it's because of how everything comes full circle and the connection, the bond that all three of us made that day. And I told Jill, it's like it was yesterday. I just hit Pro 7, which is EC, an EC1. You guys, I think, just hit, MC2. We're just getting started. And look what has transpired in those, must have been, what was that,
I was just gonna say
2010?
10.
15 years ago. It was
Yeah,
probably early 2011.
yeah. So it's unbelievable. I think I hit, executive level one in March of 2011. So
Yeah,
you're
so
up.
it must have been right around then because I know we were at like 10,000 in volume at the end of 2010. And so,
Yeah.
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 So,
I think for all those on the call right now, what they're saying, and you may not relate to this story, but the impact that has happened. I get misty. I got misty eye with Carrie the other day. The impact that just those interactions over 15 years, the ripple effect around the world, the thousands upon thousands of people whose lives have been touched by just that moment that we're sharing right now. And I want you to know that's the impact each and every one of you have the opportunity to make on individuals' lives. And that may be feel too big, but that's where I want you to come from. That's the heart I want you to have. We can talk about nuts and bolts, but that's what we're doing. And that's what these guys are talking about on a big, big scale of the impact. And that's our divine purpose. I think we could all say that on this call today.
I mean, you can build a massive business just sharing that story. That one story right there. So all of you have to understand the enormity of what it means to tell stories. Facts tell, stories sell. And it's in your voice, it's in your heart, it comes out. And if people can feel that, they're going to want to be a part of what you're doing. Okay.
Gabe, I really want you to share your beginning story. I think it's so powerful. And again, it speaks to the fact of the hundreds of lives that were shared because Gabe took 2 days to basically invite to a meeting like you're going to on Tuesday. He focused for 4 days and literally changed not only our families' lives, but look, all of your lives, really. So it's so, so powerful. Can you share
Sure,
that
sure.
story?
And you'll hear our full story when we get there Tuesday night. But I enrolled on a Sunday night. I get a call from the master distributor of this company on a Monday afternoon. And I've been on the phone dealing with him through the process of, going through uh, the invite and understanding the business, all the way to becoming a consultant with this company. So he calls me Monday afternoon, says, and he lived in California. He says, "Hey, I'm going to be in Florida this week. Would you want me to come and launch your business?" I go, "When would you be in Jacksonville?" He goes, "I can be there Thursday night." So think about this. This is Monday afternoon. This is the number one, consultant in the company, and I've got 2.5 days. And me, I
And
have
you're working full
yeah,
time.
I'm working 14 hours a day,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I certainly didn't want to disappoint him. So I go crazy. I go, "You would do that for me? You would come, you would fly to help me launch my business? I'm in." So when I hung up the phone, that's when I really start freaking out. Like, what did I just agree to, right? Understand this. I do have sales experience. I do have, I understand appointments. So the first thing that I did, and each and every one of you should do this, is set yourself a goal. I set a goal. I wanted to have 20 people show up to that meeting in 2.5 days. Now, because I have sales experience, I knew at the very least I was going to have to call 40 to get those 20 there. So I didn't have any experience on the invite or what to say. It was just pure excitement. And I'm going to try to remember what I said, what the invite sounded like. It was something like, "Hey, Carrie, I don't care what you're doing Thursday night at 7, cancel it. I just partnered with a publicly traded company. I have the number one earner flying from California. He's going to share with you this incredible ABC primetime investigative report that's going to blow your ever loving mind. Gabe, what is it? Don't worry about that. Just be there." I called 40 people. I didn't leave. Now, this is years ago, 17 years ago, I didn't leave any text messages. I picked up the phone. And if they didn't answer the phone, Carrie, call me back ASAP. Oh my God. So I use the urgency, I use the curiosity, I use the excitement, the belief, all that packed into one. Just understand this, curiosity doesn't kill the cat. It kills the competition. And so of the 40 people, 25 showed, 16 enrolled in
And the
the
big pack.
on the only pack, right? In the next week to 10 days. And that's how we hit, MC2 in our first 30 days.
Which
And
we didn't even know we'd done.
yeah, and I
Know
had
the
I had
combination.
someone in my upline called me and told me what I had done. It wasn't even about that. So it was all about excitement. It was all about enthusiasm. It was all about belief. And that, so people are going to really, really hear your tone of your voice, okay? Not necessarily what you're saying. So I put together 10 tips, okay? And I hope everybody's taking good notes. And yes, Jill can send these notes to the leaders, and all of you can have them. So if you don't want to write and you just want to really listen and try to take it in, I've got them right in front of me. So obviously, this call is about setting the tone by creating curiosity for a strong event. But also, what I want you to be thinking about, these are going to be some great tips on how to invite. Okay. So, the first tip is getting commitments without overwhelming your guests. Okay.
Oh, that's a
All,
that's a good one.
listen to me very carefully, okay? And believe me, Jill and I
Oh yeah.
are culprits. We've done this 100 times, you know.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Always lead with curiosity, not explanation. Most, if not all, your guests don't care about NRF2 or the science behind it. Always give them a simple hook, okay? Something like this. Hey, Carrie, I heard something fascinating this week about a new breakthrough product on how your body defends itself from aging, inflammation, and many chronic challenges. That's it. Another way, something remarkable is happening right now, something grounded in new science that's already changing hundreds of thousands of lives. You're creating curiosity, all right, is what you want. You don't want to just babble and babble and babble. You'll lose them. I'm going to a short talk on Tuesday night to learn more about a new breakthrough on how our cells protect themselves. I thought of you. Always keep the invite simple and human. People say yes to people, not presentations. Always remember that. Be human, okay? Would you like to come with me Tuesday night? Would love your opinion. You are one of the first people I thought of. And I know there's some backlash about opinions, but we're talking about getting butts in seats, okay? So you might empower somebody who has a little bit of a bigger ego by saying that to get them there, okay?
Like a doctor.
So yeah, like a doctor or someone like that, okay? Just use a little bit of what I'm going through today based on the personality of the particular person that you're talking to. There is a right fit for someone, and there are a lot of wrong fits for that same person. Okay, so never ever forget about that. Um, when you say, I thought of you, it's powerful and it makes it personal. So, whatever invite that you're using, say that to people. Oh my God, you're the first person I thought of. That is a powerful statement that makes it real personal. Okay. So, the second tip is you want to give a clear reason why them, right? You're into health. It made me think of you. That could be a sentence in the invite. You're always looking for ways to stay sharp and energized. You've mentioned your health lately. I think you're going to find this absolutely fascinating. Set expectations, keep it short, and make sure there's no pressure on them. One of the biggest attendance killers is the fear of being pitched. Okay? You can say things like this: it's about 45 minutes. No pressure, just information. Worst case scenario, we can go grab a cup of coffee and catch up. People love that. It lowers,
Guards.
the guards and pressure. Okay. You understand it is very, very important. You always use a two-step approach, right? Don't rely on one text and then crossing your fingers and you're hoping, right? All right. Best practice is this: initial invite could be a text or a call, right? You follow up the next day. Hey, I wanted to see if Tuesday night still works for you. Something real short and simple. Okay. That's it, right? And it's just consistency over time. You always want to create a small sense of exclusivity. People are more likely to attend if it feels limited or special to them. It's a very, very small group, invite only. We have a few seats left. All right. They don't do this very often. Just keep it honest and don't overdo it. All right. So you can use Jill and I flying in from Florida. Hey, this doesn't happen very often. These are leaders that are experts in this field. Whatever you're doing, cancel it. This is going to be more important. Okay.
On that really quick, I don't think you've been here in over a decade. You
I
taught
know.
one other time, but
Well,
I think
yeah,
you've only taught twice in Phoenix
twice.
ever. Over
Yeah.
10 years, you guys. So if you're hearing him right now, and even if you don't live in Phoenix, if you know anybody, not just Phoenix, hours and hours and hours away, right? So, okay, back to you. I'm gonna
And the
mute.
same thing in South
Thank you.
Dakota for same thing
Yeah.
with coming to
Yeah.
South Dakota. He hasn't been here for over a decade.
Yeah.
And other
Wow.
areas, right? But yes.
And
So
different people, different teams. Like, so I just want you to understand everyone the importance of like how big all of this is for all these markets. So, okay, sorry.
absolutely. And I believe if I'm not mistaken, Carrie, that second event I went to in Phoenix, it was a spillover into another room.
It
And
was. It
I
was.
mean,
Oh,
yes. I mean, we packed the house and we had to open another room and people were watching it through a television.
And like the fire code, and we're like, we don't even care, hotel people. Like we're squeezing you in. We don't care if you're like sitting in aisles. Like I'm just telling you, like this is legit
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah. So just understand this, and this is to the leaders, the Poes and Brimhalls and the Williams and all the other leaders. Jill and I are all in. We will do anything to move this company's needle to make that happen. So if anybody wants me in Sioux Falls, anybody wants me, I don't care. I'm in. Let's go have some fun. Okay. So, something that's very, very important is you always want to get a commitment.
Gabe's good at
Yeah,
that.
not a maybe. You don't want to get a maybe because maybes usually means no. Okay, they're just being nice to you. Okay, so you want to coach them gently and to move towards clarity. All right, should I save a seat for you?
I love that.
Right? Are you a yes or should I circle back next time? You want to get a commitment, all right? And you can use any kind of means. Me, I always say, hey, listen, I have the ability to invite, three of my friends tonight. You're one of the three. Don't disappoint me. I promise you, this will be one of the best nights that you'll remember for a long, long time. I will not disappoint you. So I go into being more personal. Jill heard me talk just the other day on an invite on one of my friends. And you know what the first thing that came out of my mouth?
He was good.
It's completely off script, but I'm just personalizing it. And I do it because I invite people that I relate to. Okay, I'm going to get into that in a second, but I go, first thing came out of my mouth is, we're friends, right? You know what came out of his mouth? He goes, no, we're brothers. I got him. Done. You see what I'm saying? So go off script. If you can have a great relationship with somebody. I enrolled Bob Triglia. For those of you who don't know Bob and Sissy Triglia, they were EC2s. I found a way for us to surf on Mondays. What? What? Because we're always babbling about missing the waves during the week because we had to work, right? So there's all different kinds of ways. So always make sure you get a commitment, not a maybe. Remind them their job is not to present. So tell your team, this is huge, folks. All right. Tell your team, your consultants, your only job is to invite. My job is to deliver the message. And you know what that does? When they constantly stop trying to explain everything, they start to feel more confident and they start to invite more people because it is easier, right? So remember, confidence is everything. You can hear it in someone's voice. So let them know their job is only to invite. It's all about third-party validation, and we all know that, okay? The day of, all right? You want to remind people the day of. It matters. A simple message the day of can double attendance, right? Looking forward to seeing you tonight at 7. Going to save you a seat, right? By the way, once you bring Susie or once you bring Kathy, they're going to freak when they hear this guy speak. You never know. Buddy pitching is a great way, to double the attendance, to double your amount of guests. And quite honestly, a lot of people don't like to walk into a meeting by themselves. It's kind of scary, right? They feel more comfortable with someone else. And you don't have to wait to the day of, by the way, to buddy pitch or invite. And I know someone that's conscientious as you are about your health and hear this incredible business opportunity. If you ask, people will do it. Okay. Encourage belief and posture. Don't forget those words. All right. People will feel your uncertainty. Okay. If it sounds hesitant, your guest hesitates too. Okay. It's human behavior. All right. It's a simple mindset shift. All right. I'm inviting you because this is worth your time. Think about that for a second when you word it like that. And it's in your voice. You want to be confident. You want to have excitement. You want to have belief. They will feel that more so than hearing what you say. Okay. A simple text message. If you're gonna write out a script and send it like a text, this is a script. So I'm gonna go into some scripts now.
And I put this like, I can email it to you
Yeah,
guys,
you don't
okay?
need to write all this stuff down. We've got this. And these are just a couple things that we just came up with. Hey, Carrie, I thought of you. I'm going to a short talk Tuesday night about a breakthrough on how our bodies handle stress and aging at the cellular level. It's only about 45 minutes, super, super low key, no pressure, love for you to come with me and get your take on it. Would you be open to joining me? That's the text, right? A phone call version, this is more personal now. Hey, Jill, quick question. I'm going to a small event Tuesday night about this new science, this breakthrough around how our cells protect themselves from stress and aging. It's not long, there's no pressure at all. I immediately thought of you and would really value your opinion. Would you want to come with me?
Now we're big. You got to know we're driven by the opportunity.
That's coming, by the way. You,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know
So
me.
so yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We barely know Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
don't think this is all about product, by the way, the
Yeah,
invite.
yeah.
What we've learned is when you're kind of talking about a breakthrough or something new that's a little bit of a hook that gets people excited, right? And then you can always talk to them about the business, as you have conversations with them. But I have found this is the way to get butts in seats. If I talk about a business opportunity, they automatically think network marketing, they automatically think negative, they automatically think I don't have the money, I don't have the time, and it's I just haven't had very much luck with it that way. Okay. A short or casual conversation, a version for busy people. Hey, Jill, I'm going to something Tuesday night on a new breakthrough in cellular health. Thought of you. It's quick, no pressure. You want to join me, right? So these are just really easy, soft ways to create curiosity, to let them know that there's something out there they might not know what it is. Okay. What's paramount is you always follow up, right, with a message, right? The very next day. Want to circle back Tuesday night? Think you might be able to make it. Love to have you here with me. We all know fortune's in the follow-up, right? So you've got to make sure that you message them the very next day. And then of course the day of, looking forward to seeing you tonight at 7 p.m. I'm going to save you a seat. All right. So don't overthink what I just said. I've given you a lot, and we're going to send this out to everyone. So
I do want to go back that I want you all to realize that we strictly built our business on basically sharing the entire story. So I know Gabe talked a lot about product, but our major driver is we got all business packs. We built our business on business packs and creating the vision of the opportunity, the business, how to make extra money.
yeah.
Because we needed $2,200 a month, and Gabe was driven to earn that to keep our kids in private school. So I want to make sure you understand that, because our organizations, our company is so heavy on customers, which are beautiful, right? Like Brandon said, it's the water that floats us and generates the all that leveraged income. But we have to have more megaphones. We have to have those businesses sharing the enormity of the entire story. Okay. So you've got to know Gabe is driven on the business. That's how we built a presidential business in 5 years. So this is really, really important. And it's really important for LifeVantage to get that momentum back, to get back to that 80-20,
Yeah.
that 20% distributors.
Yeah.
Okay, Gabe.
Yeah, so don't overthink, what you're going to say to people. Remember, it's in the tonality of your voice. It's in the excitement, the belief in your voice. Send, if you're going to do text, you want to contact 5 to 10 people. I mean, when you get off this call, you have time to get half of that tonight and half of that tomorrow. Your goal is 5 to 10 people today and tomorrow. And remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's conversations. Each conversation you have becomes perfected. Okay. Always remember that. Okay. So now this is going to be more of Gabe. Okay. Tips on knowing your guests and things to be, conscientious of. All right. Here's what I always did to build a strong, strong business. First and foremost, find people that think the way you do. Okay. Find people that you can relate to. Find people who want more out of life, right? For your close personal friends, you can ask those personal questions, right? Remember, we solve problems, okay? So you can say some personal questions like this to people that you're close with. Are you on pace to retire on time? Boy, if that doesn't wake somebody up, right? Have you made all the best financial decisions, or have you made a few mistakes along the way? They're going to start opening up to you, I promise you, all right? Are you where you want to be financially? I mean, not if they say no, but when they say no, tell them that you can show them something that might help correct some of those mistakes, right? Find people who are interested in financial solutions. Okay. So don't be afraid to go there. All right. People are looking for a way out. Okay. Of what they're currently doing. I know there's numbers out there. I think it's 30% of people don't even like their jobs, right? Or maybe they want an exit strategy. Maybe they want more independence or financial freedom, spending more time with their family, able to work on their own terms, being their own boss. These are things that you're going to have to find out when you're trying to find their wants and needs and pains and desires and dreams, right? Um, there are people out there that are trying to figure out how to save for their children's college tuition right now. Do you think we have a solution? There are people out there that want to pay off some credit card debt. I can go on and on and on with this, folks. All right. So always remember this: entrepreneurs don't sell products.
We don't sell pills.
All right. We solve problems. And that's what you're going to have to do is find the solution, that of the problem that they have. Right. Um, you got to remember this. You can't be the one that's always babbling, right? You have to be the one that's always listening. You have to be quiet. When you ask a question and when they answer the question, ask them why. And when they answer that, you ask them why again. That's how it gets deep rooted inside them and brings out their emotions, and they start to get motivated and literally start to actually hear what you're freaking saying, right? You got to get there. So you got to ask and dig and dig and dig and dig, especially for males. You ask a male how everything's going. Oh, it's going great. It's going great. And he just lost, a third of the United States in his sales, right? So you got to dig and dig and dig. So remember, we are the ones that have the solution, all right? You want to find out, you want to build a vision in their minds and let them know while you're doing that they can do anything that they put their mind to. Anything is possible. And when it's appropriate, ask them what they're currently doing to make their hopes and dreams possible. That's a good way to close it. Well, what are you doing right now? To make that possible when what they told you what their needs and wants and pains are. Are you doing anything right now to solve it? Tuesday night could be a solution for you. It was for me. So that's what it takes. You've got to drill down and really get to the root cause of what's keeping people up at night. And if you can do that and teach that and do it over and over and over again, it just blows up. It's all it does.
It's numbers.
So
Gabe's like, it's numbers, Jill.
it's all
It's
numbers. I mean, some of my worst invites produced the most incredible consultants. Some of my best invites, crickets. You just don't know. It's not in the words, it's in how you say it. It's not what you say, folks. So sometimes you might have to look yourself in the mirror, slap yourself in the face when you pick up the phone and says, "That's right, I'm bad. I got this." Right? And be confident, be strong because they hear it. They hear the weaknesses. And if there's a little bit of hesitation on your end, they hesitate too. Never forget that. Okay. So if anybody has any questions, I don't know what our time frame is tonight or today. Carrie, I'll give it back to you.
You
Hopefully that
know,
was
real,
helpful.
oh my gosh, mind blowing. I am so excited because I don't, there's a lot of new people in this Zoom and they've never got to hear from the two of you before, to be honest. So, and they've been everyone that's heard from you before, like it's never enough, right? Never ever enough. I know really quick, people were asking in the chat about the meeting in Phoenix. So we'll get that information out to you, but we're an opportunity meeting Tuesday night. And then we also have a brief opportunity meeting followed by a training Wednesday at Marisa's. We'll get that to you. And then for Sioux Falls, Dawn, where's Dawn? Dawn's been organizing this. Dawn, can you chime in real quick? And then we can hear from Dr. B as well.
Hey, sorry, we had to run a tux back because our senior is still asleep from staying up all night with his friends. So we had to get that checked in before the cutoff time here tonight. But we are so excited to have Dr. Brett in Sioux Falls. We know he's just going to bless everyone. We love Dr. Brett, and I am so excited for everybody in Phoenix to hear from Gabe and Jill. You guys just lit me on fire. I can't wait to get some more invites out as soon as this is over. So Friday night, we'll have an event at my house that is just for consultants. It's just going to be a great time to connect, maybe do some fun, conversations, some fun photography, just a really nice time of connection. Dr. Brett will be there and Francesca from corporate. And then Saturday morning, we'll be at the Willows. And so we'll have the opportunity meeting at 9 o'clock and then the training following. So we're so excited to see everyone.
And you
Wonderful.
guys, I want you to realize too, this is how we built this as well. So I don't care where you live, like someone knows someone who knows somebody in Phoenix or Sioux Falls or hours from there, or right, you're gonna like go on Big Blue Calendar. And if you don't know Big Blue Calendar, shame on us for not teaching you. But you're gonna go on Big Blue Calendar and you're gonna see what meetings are all over, and then you're gonna say, oh my gosh, there's a meeting that this person is doing and I can send them to that way. And you're going to take these same skills that you just are learning and you're going to put them to use, right? And really quick, can you go back, Gabe? Can you say those numbers again? Did you invite 45 people and you got 25 that signed, 25 showed and 16 enrolled?
Yes, it was 40 people. That was my
40.
goal.
Okay.
40. 25 showed, 16 enrolled within the next week to 10 days. And that's how and they were all on, the largest pack, the only pack, obviously.
And talk about the big pack really quick and why people should do the big pack if you don't
Well,
mind.
if you don't understand this right now, I'm speaking to the newest consultants. Most, if not all, the people that you talk to, when it comes to the point of interest, they will ask you, how did you come in? I'm telling you, and I don't care if they can afford they can afford to buy 50 packs. If you came in on the starter kit, they're coming in on the starter kit. They're going to come in where you did. So speed of the group is speed of the leader, right? So everybody came in that pack. Obviously, you want to be a product of the product. So now you can experience all the products, but more importantly, you're getting that 750 in sales volume, and that multiplies so much faster than 250, right? You got to do
For your
twice
business,
for your business. This is all about rank advancements. And it's monkey see, monkey do. People will do the same thing that you do. And then before you know it, after what, Jill, 5, 6 months, we didn't have to present anything else. That was what we all did.
The whole back office
The
was
whole back office was one pack. And that's the way you do it. And we had incredible success because of that.
I'm the thinker of the bunch, but don't project your stuff, your self-limiting beliefs about money onto other people. This is an important part of the business, and it's part of their success too, because we need people rank advancing so they earn money, so they stay in the game and they see this works. This is a beautiful business.
Yeah. And some of the things that Jill and I are going to cover on Wednesday, on the invite is you always recruit up. You never recruit down. Never.
Our whole team,
right?
we looked up to him.
We're
like Jim Guy and Video Girl, I say.
And we're nobody special, but we were mentored by the best in this industry. And because especially for the newbies, the foundation that you will set, right, at the very, very beginning of this incredible journey you're about to go on, 17 years later, it's rock solid because people can afford the products. They don't get off subscriptions. They add to subscriptions when a new product comes. They don't cannibalize your business. So a lot of people say, well, Gabe, you're lucky. You train CEOs, you know all the millionaires and all that. Well, listen, if you make 50,000 a year, right? You're going to talk to somebody who makes 55,000 a year. And then they're going to talk to somebody that they knew who makes 70,000 a year. Project 2 years later, now you got people who make six figures in your organization and they're growing the business exponentially faster because they're A personalities, not B or C personalities.
Yeah, I said this to, I was coaching someone yesterday and I said, is a sick person going to build your business? Absolutely not. All right. We want success-minded people,
People who
healthy people,
look good.
look good. Yeah.
I mean, do you?
I'm like,
I mean, you're representing an anti-aging, company. You have to be a picture of health. You have to
we're,
practice what you preach.
yeah,
Those are the
that's
the
what we did.
mindsets that you've got to instill in your group. Because once you start going down the sick, lane of a hospital, guess what your business is going to look like 2 years from now? That's why leaders breed leaders. Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to really get into that on,
We can
on
train all
Wednesday.
night.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
go off on a
I know,
million.
I know. One last thing on the pack too, because I know I can never get enough. What I've found is if people buy those like what $200 packs or whatever, they have no skin in the game.
Yeah.
They don't have they have like one tiny amount of product to use for themselves. They're not invested, right? And then like you said, then that's what they go and do. So I don't know, just in my personal opinion, stop it. Plus, they need tickets to the events. Events are critical. If they want to build this business,
Yeah.
like that's just what they need to do. So okay, let me
Oh, I gotta
talk.
say one more thing, Carrie.
Yeah,
We did not have the money to buy that pack either.
yeah. Because did you hear they were looking for an extra 2,200 a month, you guys? So
I'll,
right, you might be
I'll,
thinking, oh, they're loaded or whatever. I don't know your
no.
situation back
Yeah.
then, but to there, if you want an extra 2,200 a month, like money matters. So keep that in mind. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
I mean, could go on forever
Oh,
about that.
you'll hear our full story on on Tuesday night. But yes, I mean, I'm not embarrassed to say this, that I was 50 years old in 2009, and I had to call my mommy and ask for her credit card to get started. But I paid her back within a week. Think about that. It might have been 2 weeks. I'll say 2 weeks.
And I'm going to say it again. In basically 1 week time, 7 days, we changed the trajectory of our family forever and thousands around the world.
I think Jill's going to touch on this maybe Wednesday too, or maybe Tuesday night. You want to, especially for the newbies, or no, for everyone. You always want to recreate or create a burst of activity.
Yeah.
That's what I
That's
did.
what we're
If you think
basically
about
saying,
what I
7
did,
days.
I called 40 people in 2.5 days, and it changed our lives. Changed our lives.
Yeah. I'm
I
going to
mean,
go over that.
Jill's
I
going
was
to
going to
cover.
go in deeper on Wednesday.
So yeah, so
So
just
it's the mindset, the posture, the belief, the conviction, that you have, and then what you're setting, right? I mean, it's just very different than like you said, and we love our products. We wouldn't have this beautiful business without our products. That's why we have the retention. That's why we have a huge customer base. But you guys are on this on a Sunday afternoon learning how to build your business, right? And so if you want to learn how to build your business, that's why I wanted you to get to hear from these guys. So,
Then
okay,
yeah, we could go
really
off
quick.
forever.
yeah.
I know.
I
I'm like,
know.
oh.
Okay.
I want to hear Dr. Brimhall.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
You get so
Yeah.
excited.
Hey, where is he? I don't see him.
I was just gonna say, let's just go to work.
Yeah.
I got my nose, I got my thing,
So
and
good to see you.
great to see you guys. Gabe and Jill, thank you so much for coming to our market, but just for the friendships that we've got over the years. And I gotta give Carrie that credit where she introduced me to so many of you guys. So grateful for you. And actually, thank you for being so real and honest about how you got started. That couldn't have been easy at 50 to call your mom and say, hey, look, like I'm going to change the trajectory of our family's life, but I need some help.
Yeah.
And like that's super vulnerable. So thank you. And I think that was the motivation that where you said, I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
So my invite for myself when I came up to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, was Carrie saying, "Hey, what are you doing next Thursday?" So I wasn't going to a meeting in Phoenix. I was getting on an airplane,
You
flying to
never
South
even watched the
Dakota.
ABC. I'm just like, come
I
meet.
didn't even watch the video, right? I just knew I'd seen something different. I didn't understand with what happened with their son Luke. And what I would say, guys, is I would take what Gabe and Jill just said and ask yourself a couple key questions. Are you where you want to be right now in your life, in your finances, in your health, in your business? And let yourself sit with that a minute and ask yourself, do I have a better option to get what I want doing something else? And the amount of time that it can take to do this. And if you'll let that pain motivate, the pain motivated Gabe to take fast action. And I learned something very valuable from you, Gabe. You said, that guy called you the next day. We do need to do more calls, less texts,
Yeah. Yes.
right? And get that connection going on. And I would say that make these calls, because if you have a better way to shorten the pain that you feel right now than what this business is, I don't know what that is. For $1,000 at the biggest pack, I would make the call super, super easy. If it's, if it's Sioux Falls, South Dakota, said, look, we have a doctor coming in, hadn't come in for 10 years. This is where he got his start in this company. He flew out here to us to get a vision of what this was. It allowed him to impact way more lives and gave him an ability to sell his practice in 3 years because he's able to have an income coming in while he slept. And he's here to help us do that same thing. Are you open to at least taking a look?
Yeah.
That's what that conversation that Carrie had with me had led me now here, 11 years later.
That's
And
awesome.
as I think back to all the conversation I've had with people like Gabe and Jill, a lot of it has been just to help people build my belief. And don't overthink what you're doing. But I would say if you're not motivated, if you're not don't have the energy, just think for a second, like who will this disappoint if I don't do it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like pain is for me the much more of a motivator to take action. For me, it was, I saw Carrie's son but she didn't know all the other stuff going on in my life at the same time, where a company my dad had taught for 3 years let him go without notice. And then shortly after I broke my knee playing basketball and my wife and I had a short sold a house a few years previous. I didn't want to be back there again. And I believe that Carrie had what I wanted, which is she had time and she had money coming in no matter what she did that day. I don't know of another business that allows to do it in such a way where we get to impact lives the way we do. So I'd keep the invites super, super simple, but you've got to do the invites. And what I mean by that, make the call.
Yeah.
Make the call. And all you can control is the amount of calls you make. And I guarantee you're going to suck sometimes. I can't tell you how many times I was doing calls with Carrie watching and listening to me.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, talk about painful sometimes. Right. And there were times I was pretty sucky at it. A couple of times where I even told the person, "Hey, can I start over? Because that was really bad."
Or
I
we would leave voice messages together too, like as it got later on in the years, right? Which those are kind of nice. So if you're really scared, then you could delete it and then re-record like the voice message, but then you're getting like coaching and feedback on the spot right then and there, just FYI.
Yeah, and just I mean, I am glad she did that.
Like
And
calling parties, you
I
guys, is all
asked
I'm
her
trying to
to
say.
do that. Like I've been calling parties. I would do it, get with two or three of you together and call. And you're gonna make some mistakes. You're gonna like fumble sometimes. But if you're doing it, guess what? You're gonna ask your people that come into the business to do the same thing that you're doing. So it's okay to fumble around with each other doing this, because if you're doing that, they'll learn that it's okay to make a mistake as long as you do the action. And I just know for me, the same thing that happened. It happened at several launches. Carrie and I got together and we did calls together. We did voice messages together. I do way more work when I'm somebody with somebody than when I'm not. For me personally, I used to study in school with somebody else just because I knew that I'm going to show up when somebody else. I said I'm going to be there for somebody else. So get with one or two of you. You can do it by Zoom too. Just do it.
And just bring that, like literally bring a list of people, know exactly who you want to call. And then you just sit there and you make those calls, boom, 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 boom. You can be so productive in such a short period of time.
And what I can tell you is I look at where my life is now, and I think about the lives that have been impacted through Carrie's son Luke's story. not only because of what the product did, because the story has been repeated so many times. And again, I would have missed out on that. Somebody else would have told the story. Carrie would have told the story, but I get to be a part of that and build a team as part of that. That now I feel like I want to give that back to as many people as possible because I want this business to be much, much bigger. Like I want it to be huge. Like I want it to be, 17 years later stable where it can't be stopped, right? Like Gabe and Jill are talking about. And you have the capacity to do that. And it can take you 1 year or 10 years, depending on how many people you call.
Yeah.
And because you have this unique opportunity with me coming out to South Dakota or coming here to Arizona to hey, let me get you in front of these people. They did it. Like the guy, I would say, man, this guy, he borrowed his mom credit card and he was 50 when he signed up.
About that.
Right? But he has now turned this business into a multi-million-dollar business because it's a different business model. Like, aren't you at least curious? Like, and why do you have a doctor that's flying from Arizona to South Dakota? Aren't you at least curious? Like, this guy gets paid to teach all over the world. Aren't you at least curious? Come check this out. So I
Did
just
you
don't
catch that for
overcomplicate it.
Sioux Falls? He gets paid to teach all over the world, and he's coming there for free because of this beautiful business model, like to help you build your business.
And I'm coming up there too, partially because Michelle and Sean would probably hurt me if I don't come back out there. I do
Well,
owe it,
really?
and I do owe that a little bit of my life to Carrie and them for what they've helped me create. Um,
But
but it's
on that note, you guys, Jill and I were talking about this yesterday morning. Like a lot of you were in Vegas, right? Hopefully most all of you. There's no way possible, like when you first join, you can know what you're joining, right? There's no way you can understand the community and all that piece. Same thing, like you're inviting someone to a meeting there's no way possible they can understand how big this is, but it's like getting them to these bigger events, these bigger meetings. It's a step towards getting them to see a whole picture, and that was why I asked Brett to fly to Sioux Falls. Why would I not want to put them around like unbelievably amazing people, right? He stayed at the Pose home. I'm not a dummy. I knew I couldn't be the one telling him the message. I knew he wasn't going to hear it from this patient, but I could say, come with me to this event. Like, let's cancel patients, jump on a plane." And I wanted him to see the whole enchilada. So that's the same thing you're inviting your guests to, whether it's Phoenix, whether it's Sioux Falls, anywhere, a different big event. So just keep that like, so we might be talking specifics, but I know a lot of people are going to watch the Zoom later. This applies to all different kinds of meetings. So.
yeah, you
Love
think
it.
you're
Perfect
inviting
insight.
them to take a look, and that's use that. Like get them in front of somebody else. I can't wait to have my people in front of Gabe and Jill. Like I mean, we need to know their voice. They're tired of hearing me and Carrie.
Totally get it.
Yep.
Right. And but we need that voice. I mean, you never know when that make that commitment and where they can change their life. And like I truly believe, like I've got friends of mine in South Dakota that I want they're coming to Sioux Falls. They're on the upper side of the state because I believe that they can get what they want from this company. And because that's what it's given me. And I know that other people out there, so let them know this is the possibility for them. To
So
get
they're
them in front of
driving what, 5 hours each way? So I
right.
think that's too, you guys. Like Jill said, don't put like our cap right on how much maybe they want to spend, but the same thing, don't put your cap on how far someone's willing to drive for a meeting. You know what I mean? We have people driving all over for this as well. So don't just think of who do you know in that like that really close area. Like think broader than that. And when you put the enough, like when you understand that and they'll come, it's incredible what can happen. So. Okay,
There's
I don't
one
want
other
to
thing.
keep going too. Yeah, keep going, but
There's one other thing that I caught when Gabe and Jill said this. If you know the person well enough, what their hot button is, use that.
Yeah.
When he says, "Hey, I think I found a way I know I found a way we can surf on Monday." Okay. You know, it may be for that person. Look, I found a way where we can travel more. I found a way where we can have less overhead and keep more of our money. Look, I found a way where we can have more time with our family and and the lifestyle that we want. Hey, I found a way that this community we're part of is amazing. Like, are you open to come take a look? Like, just what is it that what is it? Would that be their hot button utilize that, get them to meet the people in the community. And if there's not the right timing or the right fit or the right community, it's okay. You gave them that chance to at least have a look. And that's our job, whether it's on the product side, but I tell you what, I spend a lot of time talking product. And if we want to change a lot more lives, we need a lot more people talking about everything. So we get more consultants sharing this message so that we can impact the world in a bigger way. So I'm just grateful that I'm excited to be out there with you guys. And Don, I don't care about the pictures on Friday, but yeah, put me to work while we're out there. Like, let's talk to as many people as we can to give them opportunity to take a look at what we have, both the community as well as what we have in the opportunity. So I'm just excited about it.
Awesome. Well, I am just so grateful for every single one of you for taking the time on a Sunday to be on this Zoom. I am grateful for Gabe and Jill for coming to Phoenix. I am grateful for Dr. Brett Brimhall going to Sioux Falls. I'm grateful for all you driving. And I'm just so excited about where this company is headed, and what you can get out of it, right? And your why, and how you can help your team as well. So if you have people that couldn't be on it, we know that's possible. Get this recording. We'll get it out quickly. We'll put it in different groups and have your people watch it. So super, super great. Oh, Marisa, yes.
And also and we can do this individually with our teams, but if I have if my consultants on my team in Arizona have two or more qualified, yes, not someone who's broken, not someone who's like sick, but two qualified guests for the opportunity, I'll be giving you a bag of Axio.
Woo!
Nice.
Wow.
So that's something that's just really quick on that. That is absolutely something we do. We incentivize people to bring guests to meetings. So you can think about running different incentives and you can talk to your different leaders about that. But I love like throwing out incentives to our consultants, right? If you have a certain number of guests that you'll get a free, like to my mind, you can never get enough Axio for consultants to give it away though, right? To sample for all of that. So Axio to me is a great thing to give away. But so yeah, we can talk about that more later, but definitely let's throw it all on the line. Let's grow this business. And we're so great for all of you guys.
Love
So
you guys. Thank
thank
you.
you.
And we'll see you soon.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
see.
We're gonna go pack right now.
Okay, bye guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Thank you. Stop recording.